Are you struggling to figure out how to find funding for your virtual fix and flip deals? Well, today we'll talk about funding your virtual fix and flips, hard money, private money, and more. So welcome back to the Virtual Fix and Flip Challenge, and congratulations for getting to this point. If you have a property that you've identified that you would like to purchase and fix and flip, we're going to discuss how to fund that purchase. You have several options out there. Obviously, you can use your own cash. We're going to discuss how to not use your own cash and use other people's money. First thing we're going to discuss is using a hard money lender or a fix and flip loan. These lenders are fantastic because they are used to working with investors. They understand the fix and flip process, and they will often give you a large percentage of your purchase and even up to as much as 100% of your rehab costs. The lender that we use will give up to 90% of your purchase price, depending on your qualifications, obviously your credit score and your experience, and then up to 100% of your renovation costs. So it is possible, in the right scenario, you could get into a fix and flip project with 10% out of your pocket and have your entire renovation funded by them as well. Now, there are points and service fees, so let's discuss that as well. So a service fee, every time they initiate a loan, just like a normal bank would do, they're going to charge you a service fee for processing everything. And if you have a pro account with them, that service fee is $999. They also charge 1 point. A point is 1% of the amount purchased. So if you have a $300,000 purchase, 1 point would be equal to $3,000. You do have to take that in consideration when you're running your deal calculator. That number is something a lot of people forget to put on the calculator or whatever calculator they're using, and that can change the profitability of a deal. Now, I mentioned 10% possibly having to come out of pocket with. This is where we like to bring in a private money lender. When you're doing several deals at the same time, you don't want to have to come out of pocket for the 10% on every single deal. It starts to add up. $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 at a time when you're doing 5, 6, 7 deals at a time starts to get expensive. It's a lot of working capital that you could be using to run the business that will just be tied up in deals. So we like to use private money lenders, and these come from all walks of life. What you want to be careful with private lenders is obviously making sure that you understand your deal, making sure you convey that to your lender properly, and making sure that your terms with your lender are favorable for both you and your lender. You want this to be a successful relationship between you and your lender so that you can continue to do business for years on end. What we generally do for our lenders is we will walk through a deal calculator. I'll create a Loom video walking through the calculator, showing our lender exactly what all the numbers are on the deal, showing exactly what we anticipate our projected net income and our return on investment to be. That way the lender knows that their investment is safe. I'll also show them the exact comps that we used to come up with our after repair value on the property, and walk through the scope of work that we have been given by our contractor so they know exactly what the project is we're getting into, how much money we plan on spending, and that it's not just our opinion on these numbers. We have a realtor that also confirms our after repair value, our targeted listing price. We have a contractor who has given us a full, detailed scope of work with exactly what they're going to do to the project and exactly how much it costs per line item. This will help reassure your lender that, hey, we know what we're doing. We're not going to go into this project blindly and hope that we don't run into any issues. We've looked at everything, and we're giving ourselves the absolute best chance for success. So your money will be safe in this project. Obviously, things could happen outside of our control, but we want to make sure our lenders can sleep at night, and we want to make sure that we can sleep at night knowing that we have protected our lenders. So when it comes to a lender, private lender, and their terms, let's take a look at why it's so important to understand your numbers and why the interest rate may not always be the most important thing. So let's take a look at this example here. And we have a $100,000 private money loan, and we have several different scenarios. We have 12% interest with 0 points. Again, we mentioned earlier, points are simply 1% of the amount loaned. So on a $100,000 loan, a point would be $1,000. Upfront charge does not matter the length of the loan. 12% at 0 points. If you were in and out of the project in 3 months, you're looking at a $3,000 interest charge. If you're in and out in 6 months, it's a $6,000, and 9 months is a $9,000 interest charge. Now, it gets interesting when you throw 2 points on it. 12% interest with 2 points. If you were in and out of a project in 3 months, that would be $5,000 in charges from your lender. 6 months would cost you $8,000, and 9 months would cost you $11,000. Now, 14% lender with only 1 point. Your 3 months is $4,500, 6 months is $8,000, and 9 months is $11,500. So you can see 12% with 2 points and 14% with 1 point at 6 months is the exact same number. Now we'll look at the extreme end of things. 18% lender with 0 points. Why would we possibly use an 18% lender? Well, if we know we can get in and out of a deal pretty quickly and they have no points, 18% on $100,000 for 3 months is $4,500. The only one of those scenarios which was better than that was 12% and 0 points. 6 months, it's $9,000, and at 9 months, it's $13,500. So obviously, if you know you're going to be in a project for a longer amount of time, you're not going to want to use a higher interest lender unless that's the only lender you have available. There is nothing wrong with using a higher interest lender if you have no other options available. We also sometimes use a higher percentage lender if they are experienced in doing business with us and they are very easy to work with. Sometimes we're okay paying more money in interest charges if we know the lender is going to make our lives easier. If the deal still works with 18% interest, I have no problem if they're my best option. Now, there still may be times where you don't have a private money lender available, or maybe you do have one available, but you choose to use your own cash. Recommend if you're using your own cash, please treat yourself as a lender. Charge interest to your entity. Charge whatever interest rate you feel is fair. I would suggest somewhere around 10 to 12%. That way your money is still making money and you're not just funding your projects without earning interest charges.
If you like that video, you are absolutely going to love our virtual fix and flip school where we teach you how to flip properties from anywhere in the world. Just click the first link below in the description. That'll take you to a page to enter your email and join the school. We'll see you on the inside.